Welcome to the Pop-Off with Gene FitzMagic and friends. Your daily sports and entertainment radio show, live all over the world. You're going to want to hear what these guys have to say. With their hot takes, recaps, previews, and predictions, sometimes these guys might get along, but most times, they won't. So see what happens when these guys pop off about the world of sports and entertainment.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's June 7th. It is Wednesday, hump day, and this is the Pop-Off, and I am Gene FitzMagic, joined by Caleeb Pinkett, Abby Washington, and Matt. I don't even know if I want to say your name.
Matt, don't start.
Oh, sorry,
No
Abby.
more problems with me.
The absolute disrespect.
Abby, it's collateral damage. I apologize. That's strictly
Abby,
meant for one person in this group. I'm not going to say who, because I don't want to create division between us. Definitely Gene.
His name may start with a G, so there's that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Abby, that you have to deal with this lunacy over here on the bottom left, man. I
Can't control Canadians, man.
No, you can't, especially with and like my weather in New York. It's all hazy and stuff. I wonder why. What are you guys doing up there in Canada, causing all these wildfires? Now I got to deal with it.
Hey, man, weed's been legal for a long time in Canada, so we're just smoking.
I guess that's what it is. It's just like, I'll tell you, I think they said I read a report the other day or yesterday that said we have the worst air in the world right now because of Canada. So we Americans say thank you.
Yeah, happy to help.
So, all right, guys, big news. We're gonna talk a lot of NFL today. We're gonna start getting into the swing of that. We'll preview Game 3 and some other NBA news, and we also are gonna talk a little bit about the big PGA announcement, the merger with the LIV. But you know what? First, let's go around the room real quick and how is I haven't seen you guys this week. So how's been your week, Abby?
So far so good. No complaints. Still a little. It's funny because the air quality in New York is bad. It's just as bad in Phoenix, but that's what else is new. So yeah, still a little stuffy and a little raspy. So if I mute myself a couple times, you know why? It's probably because I'm clearing my throat. But otherwise, no complaints.
All right, and Caleb, how you doing, my man?
All good. Can't complain. It's hazy out here. It's cold in LA.
It is. What's the weather you got out in LA right now?
It's cold.
I guess my thing is, what's cold for LA? What's cold for you?
Like 60s, 50s, all that.
Wow, that must be.
I
nice.
agree. That's the same in Phoenix.
Yeah,
that must be nice. And we'll just skip over Matt Hamilton because he's disrespectful. No, my man, Matt, how you doing? How you doing? You enjoying the NHL finals?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not watching all that much.
Really?
Once the Leafs go out, I usually get mad and take a series off. But I watch a little bit. Fuck Florida. I can't stand Florida. So I believe
Vegas they haven't even won a finals game ever yet, right? Isn't that the deal with
That's
them?
right. They got swept by the Avalanche in I think '96.
And now they're 0-2. So
0-2. So hopefully we can keep that train moving. But I think this is like Vancouver. The weather in Vancouver is incredible. It's been awesome.
You guys are lucky.
Better than Phoenix and LA is.
Way better than
very
LA.
often.
It's been a tragedy out here for like a week.
It was 102 the other day.
Oh,
it's pretty hot. Yeah, that's not even that's like scratching the surface.
Yeah,
man. All right. Well, we're going to start today off with some NFL. We haven't really spoken a lot of NFL lately, so let's start over there. We're going to rank the NFC West defenses. And you know what? Let's start with Abby first. What's your rankings? And give us a little bit of an insight why you have them ranked the way you have them.
So defense. I mean, the obvious answer I feel like in this case is going to be the Niners. They've been strong, not only defensively, but offensively on both sides of the ball. It's incredible what Shanahan has been able to do there. I mean, second, I feel like you got to take the team who made the playoffs last year, and that's going to be the Seahawks. I'm happy for Geno Smith, and we'll probably get into him a little bit later. But, I mean, it's a toss-up, really, with the Rams and the Cardinals, just god-awful. I don't expect anything from the defenses. I mean, obviously, Donald is going to be back this year for the Rams, but the Cardinals lost so many people this year, not only with Watt retiring, but just to, through trades and people being picked up with free agency and whatnot. But honestly, I would probably put the Cardinals last and the Rams just before them. But yeah, I have Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals.
All right. What about you, Caleb?
No, I agree. I think that's a fantastic way to rank it because it's obvious the Cards aren't going to be there. So there's that. So they're definitely in the cellar. And then the Rams, they lost Leonard Floyd, and that's not good for them. And they also lost Ramsey, so he's not there. So that injures them. So I think they go down. They still got Aaron Donald. So, you got that. So I see that. But they're definitely not better than the Seahawks defense. And nobody even compares to San Francisco. Like, that's not even – we don't even have to discuss. So I think Abby's list is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, the risk of sounding boring. Yeah, like the Niners. I mean, the Niners defense is, I think, far and away the best out of the group. Fred Warner's terrifying. That guy's so scary. And the Seahawks, they're going to be a lot better this year. The defense was all right last year. But they'll have Jamal Adams back probably for the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebacker,
don't mention that name again.
Their linebacker, what's his face? Looks like he might be ready for the start of the year too. They're bringing back Bobby Wagner. They almost replaced their whole front seven. But by default,
here's the depth chart.
Yeah, and Quandre Diggs was a Pro Bowler. Last year, Jordan Brooks, that's the guy I'm talking about, the linebacker. Yeah, man, I think they're going to be pretty good. I think we'll see. I mean, this has nothing to do with defense. I was going to talk about Geno Smith, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so I think it's that, right? It's Niners 1, a bit of a gap, Seahawks 2, and then the Rams are rebuilding. They're dog shit, and fucking the Cardinals are even worse. So
see now I'm gonna everybody had the same thing. I'm gonna disagree with a little bit. I think all right. So obviously San Francisco. How do you not put them there at number one? Yeah. They were the number 1 ranked defense last year. They were second in yards. 21. Here's the only thing is they were 21 against the pass. They weren't really great against the pass, but they were number 2 against rushing. They were number 1 scoring points against. But with Seattle, I think Seattle's gonna make a huge leap forward. They're bringing back Bobby Wagner. They brought in Draymond Jones. Julian Love to add more depth to that safety position. He had a fantastic year with the New York Giants. And then you got the rookie who some people would say that he played better than Sauce. I don't agree, but he still played fantastic. Is Tariq Woolen? He's gonna have another year in that defense, in that system, a little more seasoned. And they're adding the best corner in the draft this year, Witherspoon. I think that if you look at what they've gained, and they took an instrumental piece from LA right back to them with the Bobby Wagner signing. I think they're not only going to be the number 2 in this division. I think you're going to see them make leaps and bounds in the league. It's just in general. I would not be surprised if you see this squad now go from where were they originally? I think 25th overall or something like that, or 26th overall, to being a top 10 defense. I think they can make that big of a jump. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but at least a top 15. They're a top 15 defense to me with these names and these numbers that they added in. And again, that secondary is going to be freaking tough, man.
Yeah.
Woolen and Witherspoon alone, and still like they haven't even hit their prime yet. And then you got like a loaded safety position, especially if Adams comes back healthy and can do a little bit of what he's done. And Nigel Downer's in the house. We'll get his take on this. And we gotta get a little info on the hat because is this the hat that we were waiting for?
No, this is not the hat. First of all, I apologize for my tardiness. Hello, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever time zone you're in. No, today's feature is the Cyberpunk drop from Hat Club. Shout out to Hat Club, one of my favorite hat providers out here. So this is the Chicago Cubs, as you can see, with a nice cute little cubby in there. But it's got neon colors. Yeah, and then you got that 1990 patch, that All-Star Game patch right there. Boom, and I'll hit you with the flat batterman at the back with the 4 neon colors there, you know what I mean? And then you got the black on black new era. So this is one of my faves. It's about a year and a half, maybe 2 years old. Came with an exclusive pin, but it's not about me. It's about what we're talking about right now.
There you go. So let me just finish my point real quick on my rankings, and then we'll get to yours for the defenses. So I and then if you look at San Francisco, they as good as they were, they add just Javon Hargraves. Now the one spot I have different from you guys is I flip-flop Arizona and LA. LA lost a lot of key pieces on that defense, as you guys mentioned already. Ramsey, Wagner. I feel like, and that I know they're getting Donald back. he's another year older, another year teasing retirement. Is this going to be the year he kind of like falls off a little bit? And you know what? Arizona added Kazir White from Philly, and they also added a really good defensive coach, and now their head coach Jonathan Gannon. I think Jonathan Gannon is gonna be a good reason why that defense is. You don't like the pick?
No, and no one in Arizona really likes that pick either.
Listen, you're getting a good defensive coach, man. Caleb. How were you happy? Were you happy with Gannon last year as your defensive guy?
I mean, look, I think you just got to see what happens on the field, because a lot of people, you know, it's like what's his name in LA, the Dallas coordinator who I couldn't stand. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about? Who's your D coordinator last year? No, offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator last year. The quarterback. God, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Your OC from last year, Matt. Who is it again? He's in LA now.
Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, you're talking to me. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking up something. What's the question?
The offensive coordinator that the Dallas had last year, because what I'm saying is with the defensive coordinator, like it all depends on what happens now. Like it doesn't matter what it was before, and it's like you could be great or bad, but once you get to the new team, it's all that matters is what happens on the field that season. And I was talking about with Dallas, with their offensive coordinator last season, he left kind of in a like, ooh, this guy isn't as good as we thought he was. They called him the boy wonder. I don't know why I can't think of
Kellen
his
Moore.
name.
Kellen Moore. There you go.
Kellen Moore, yes. And now he's in San Diego. I mean, LA. with the Chargers. So now it's like he has a new shot. Justin Herbert, this new team. It's like, what can he do? You know what I mean? So I think it's the same thing with the defensive coordinator. It's like, okay, we see it. So like, prove us wrong. Like, show us something, because you know it's only it all depends on how you show up. Geno Smith changed his whole career based on last season. You know what I mean? Like so it only takes one season to perform, and everything can either go for you or against you. So I'm interested just to see what happens, but I'm less invested emotionally. Like, oh no, this is terrible. Oh no, it's like we shall see.
Yeah, I think he's good for a couple of notches on that defensive on the defensive front. I think he's a hell of a coach. He's going to implement a new system there on defense, and I'm not saying they're going to be a top 15, top 20 defense. They're still going to be in the bottom of the league, but I think the Rams are going to be that much worse. So to catch you up, Nigel Downer, Abby, Caleb, and Matt all have the same rankings. San Francisco first, then they had Seattle, then they had the Rams, and they had the Cardinals. I had the same thing, except I flip-flopped the Cardinals and the Rams. So what say you? What's your defensive rankings in the West?
You know what? That's a great question. I almost feel the same as Eugene in terms of flipping the Cardinals and the Rams. Maybe that's just me wanting the Cardinals to do something, wanting them to kind of show out in the West. They probably won't. So I think what the mean three that we have on our panel here are saying in terms of having the Cardinals bottom tier is probably the right suggestion. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of the West games other than San Fran and Seattle. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not a big fan of. I love the Rams unis, but I'm just not a big fan of like the team, the swagger in general. And the Cardinals are just going to be watching them this year. Yeah. The Cardinals are just. That's a hard watch. That's a hard watch, offensively, defensively. So, but I'll stick with my guns. Gene, I'll go with you. San Fran, Seattle, and then Cardinals, Rams.
There you go. I just think that the coaching alone is going to be a couple of spots up on that defense, and just maybe just nudge out the Rams as far as the rankings there.
Who are the Cardinals gonna have? Because not even so you lost, like I told you.
But who do the Rams really have other than Donald? Who do the Rams? I mean, here we got.
Yeah, but even Buda Baker is part of the Cardinals, and he doesn't even want to be there.
Is pretty good. Isaiah Simmons is decent. Kazir White is the middle linebacker they brought in. I think he's gonna have a nice year this year. Buda Baker, obviously, but he is there though. The thing is, he might not want to be there, but he's got to play well if he wants to get out of there. Put up the Rams really quick, Patty. Maybe I'm sleeping on some of the Rams. But other than Aaron Donald, there's nobody here that really scares me.
That's what I said. They're equal.
They lost so many players, but I feel like the Cardinals have a few more players. Number one, and number two, I like the coach they brought in. I think that coach is a good defensive coach that is going to implement a new system there defensively, which is why I give them the leg up. I give them the leg up basically just because of the coaching. That's it. And the Rams lost so much. Think about it. They weren't that great to begin with, and they lost anything that was good on their defense except for Aaron Donald. They lost. They lost Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer, Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the league. They lost people all over that field. So that's why I got to go that way. So,
the Cardinals were 31st in points allowed per game last year. So,
but they'll be better this year. They'll be better this year, I think. That's my belief. Jets showing interest in Dalvin Cook. Smokescreen. I mean, you know what? You're the Jet fan, so let's start with you. Smokescreen. We don't need him, Abby.
That's what I'm saying. He's had over like 1,000 yards, I think, the past 3 seasons. Is he really going to get us over? Like, he's not going to add like a huge wow factor. You know what I mean?
We already have 2 really good young backs.
It's not like, yeah, exactly. So you have Michael Carter, obviously Breece Hall. It may be nice to have him to kind of, obviously Breece Hall's coming back from an ACL injury, so he can kind of have a better rotation. But we're fine with, we have Zonovan Knight, and then we just have Izzy.
Izzy's the guy. When I said the 2 young backs, I was talking about Izzy and Breece. Mm-hmm. I think Izzy's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a sleeper this year. If you're late in your fantasy drafts, pick him up because he's going to be a guy that's going to get some carries, and I think he's going to be explosive as hell in the backfield. But so where do you? So obviously the Jets are. What you're saying is no. Do you see it? Is Miami really the only place, or do you see someplace else that fits for him?
Honestly, yes, because they don't really have a good, obviously they have good wide receivers, but they don't really have a running back. They kind of have a need there. Although I don't want to see Cook at all. I don't want him to go to Miami because I don't want to have to deal with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not a bad running back by any means. I think a lot of people think he's overrated. I mean, the Vikings are kind of going to be going through a whole kind of transition period here, especially with Kirk Cousins after we don't even know what's going to happen with him within like the next year or so. But yeah, honestly, Miami just seems like the best fit for him, to be honest, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
Caleeb, is this a smokescreen by the Jets just trying to drive out that price for Miami?
It could be, but I think the Jets need him. Like,
really?
how was the answer not adding somebody that's explosive to your team? You're trying to win. You leverage the farm to get Aaron Rodgers. So we're going to give him less weapons? No. Like, you better stack it as much as you can. You want nothing but all-stars coming in there to run that football. When Izzy gets tired, you got Cook coming in. Like, that's what you want. The defense can't rest. That's what you want. Constant pressure, right? So the Jets would be dumb not to get him. Why would you even risk it going to Miami? They're already better than you offensively. Like, the only thing you're better than them at outside of a running back is at the quarterback position. Receivers,
that's pretty important,
right? Defense, you guys are better, but not offensively. So it's like, why not get more firepower for Aaron Rodgers? I don't see why it wouldn't be. Like, that would be dumb. Of course I would get Cook. Like, just to have
really
him. And yeah, hell yeah. Like, we do it all the time in our business. I'm not going to make the show, but I don't want Netflix to have it. So I'm buying it. Like, duh. You know what I mean? It's part of the game. So,
then Caleeb, buy my show. Prove everybody your point right now.
And you might as well stack it. So buy my show too. So let's do it.
Right. You know what I mean? But like, when you got it, when you can afford it and you can do it, I don't see why not. And the Jets, you've already leveraged the fund. It's like, go get it.
I agree to an extent, but here's what I would do. I would, instead of turning my attention to another running back, because I think we're fine in the running game, I would turn my attention to adding another receiver, and that would be DeAndre Hopkins. I'd go to him and say, listen, here's the money. You now have a quarterback here that you're going to want to play with. You have other receivers surrounding you, so you're not going to get double teamed all the time because you can't double team him all the time, right? You need to pay attention to Garrett Wilson. You need to pay attention to the other players on this team. So therefore, it's going to give him a little bit of freedom.
But no, I hear you. You're right about that. But that wasn't the question. The Jets haven't even mentioned DeAndre Hopkins. So why are we like?
But that's what I'm. But no, I agree with you. I'm saying why is there
because they obviously think Cook is something. Like, that wouldn't even be in the zeitgeist if they weren't doing that. So the Jets feel that he adds some sort of value for them. Because then the news would be saying Jets are eyeing DeAndre Hopkins, which I think they should, but they're not. Like, to me, they obviously think there's a need there for Cook, and I can see why. And I'm saying, if you feel it, go get him. Like,
did we lose him?
And is hurt. I think you're giving another team in your division more firepower offensively, and they already are better than you outside of the running back and quarterback position.
Can I tell you what? I'm surprised we're not hearing them who's in on this guy. There's three teams that I other than Miami that I think really should be in on him.
The Browns, I heard about the Browns. The Browns are in. Like, they're interested.
They're interested. I think Browns should need to be interested in everybody just to drum up some attention. But here's the three teams that I'm looking at. And I'll get to you in 1 second, Nigel. Let's see.
Because I know who the three teams are. But go ahead.
You know who my three teams are? Let's see. All right. So wait. Let me go one by one. Is one of them not counting Miami? We already have Miami in the mix. Is one of them the Bengals?
No.
Is one of them the Ravens?
What?
Yes.
No.
Is one of them the Cowboys?
No, man. Listen,
that's what I heard.
We're not even on the same. We're not even on the same pod.
Jerry Jones came out yesterday and said most likely not.
Now,
Jerry's a liar.
He was talking about Hopkins, I think. Was he talking about Cook too?
Jerry does the smoke screens, but he said most likely not. They're not going to go get him.
It seems like, listen, Pollard is a small back. He's never had to be the bell cow.
That's who Dallas needs, Dalvin Cook.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what those are the three teams that, other than Miami, should be in on him. I think is the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Ravens. We'll get Matt's opinion in 1 minute.
I thought you were talking about Hopkins. I didn't know you were talking about Cook.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I know he said that about Hopkins. I was like, did he say that about Cook too? No.
He said that about Hopkins. I thought we were talking about Hopkins. My bad.
No. I think, listen, Pollard's a small back. He's never had to be an every down back. I think him and it saves some more time on Dalvin Cook over there. He gives him a little bit of a blow, the same way he worked with Madison in Minnesota. And listen, the Bengals, I think one of the weak spots of the Bengals offense is that running game. I think the running game really needs a boost. And how good would it be to have Dalvin Cook back there in the backfield with Joe Burrow? But so Nigel, real quick, give me your three then.
Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints, possibly the LA Chargers.
Ooh.
Yeah, but the Chargers are going to mix in with Eckler. Eckler's already proven to be an every down back.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but probably not for long though. You know what I mean? Who knows how long
he's been wanting it. There's also there's also the talk about him getting traded. Yeah. Give me the three teams one more time.
Bears, Saints,
I can see that,
Chargers,
and I can see that. That's
Bears. The Bears I can see the most,
and they have a ton of cap space.
Yeah, and
I think they have the most in the league.
Mm-hmm.
No,
and Cook's got like a different.
I don't like that because I have Khalil Herbert.
I was gonna say it's something selfish.
So,
it's a selfish reason why he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I want to keep him as the number one back. So no, Nigel, back.
You're gonna veto my my little guess there, my hypothesis. Yeah, I mean, I think Chicago would be a great place for it. Chicago's going through a little bit of a renaissance, which would be really nice, not only for the league but for their fans. You got Foreman is fantastic. Imagine if Cook is there, like the 1-2 punch from those two gentlemen. That would be nice to see. And then Fields, if he keeps that momentum that he had last year, listen, Chicago could be in the mix, man.
So, he's only 23 years old. How is he not? Barring injury, he's going to do the exact same thing again.
Here's my only thing with Chicago is that it unless they cut him, we're talking like it's going to be possibly a trade. If they'd never trade to Chicago, I don't think at this point. Not a player like Cook that's been so important to Minnesota over
Man,
these years.
we thought the PGA would never merge with LIV until yesterday.
Yo,
the lawsuits are over, and everybody's. It seems like everybody in LIV is
all of a sudden everything is sweet.
Yeah,
nothing like a couple $1 billion to change your mind.
There you go, and we'll talk about that. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. So if anybody's interested in our take on that, we will get into it. So, all right. So, Matt, what's your take on it? Obviously, what's your opinion as far as are the Jets for real as far as interest?
I don't think
so.
The Jets. It's just not a positional need. I like Dalvin Cook. I'm a little worried. Like he's got that wonky shoulder that I always feel like he's about to be injured.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's been around forever, but he's 27. So, which is not like young for a running back, but
it's middle age for a running back.
Yeah, I don't really see the fit there, to be honest with you. I see the fit better in Miami. I like Mostert a lot and Jeff Wilson. But Mostert comes from the Niners, and every running back gets hurt that plays in San Francisco.
Yeah,
so he's kind of kept that going a little bit. But Cook provides a different option. Like both Wilson and Mostert are really fast and good in between the tackles, but Cook is good like a receiving running back as well. Yeah. And I like.
Do you like him in Dallas?
Well, that's what I'm trying to get like initially.
Because that would be a good pairing.
I would say no, but I would talk myself into it. I would definitely talk myself into it.
It's an upgrade from where you were last year with Zeke, no? It
yeah,
the same situation, but an upgrade.
I think Pollard's a way more explosive, and you say every down back, but every down backs. There's not really a thing anymore.
But that's why you need a little depth. That's why Cook fits.
Yeah. I'm wondering. I'm still wondering what they're going to do with that. He seems like a lot. You probably won't have to trade a lot for him because he make $14 million? That's his cap hit?
I think his cap hit is $9 million.
There's $9 million, but I think he's getting paid 14, right?
Not
that matters. Cowboys have money. I don't know what the fuck.
And if they really want him, they can restructure somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Fuck. I mean, of course I like it. He's good.
Cowboys have $20 million under the cap right now.
I just want Pollard to be able to have the shot to be the guy. Because I've been wanting it for years.
Matt, why was your take so long, bro, to agree with it? I mean, listen, money aside, we're just shooting it, man. It's like, let's just have that hot take. If you're into the brother, you're into him because he could be something for Dallas. But I'm about that Chicago life for him. I'd love him to have him in Pittsburgh. I'd love to, but I'm not going to throw that in there because I think that there's other teams that might benefit a little bit more, right?
Oh, here's his cap number right now. His base salary is
his cap at $14 million.
Yeah. But you have the money. You have $20 million under the cap.
That's true. And I would like them to spend it like not like when we gave away Amari Cooper for nothing, and they're like, oh, now we have all this cap money, and we did nothing with it. I was like, cool, Jerry, sick. We just gave away a good receiver for no reason. Awesome.
Well, no one's ever accused Jerry of being a good GM. So
fucking idiot. Yeah, I like that. I like the Chicago one too, though. To be honest, my personal selfish reasons aside.
But that's the reason why I think that you won't see Minnesota just cut him. I think they're afraid of him going to a place like a Chicago, or a Detroit, or a Green Bay is probably not in the mix. But
I don't see a divisional trade. But
they definitely won't.
But if they can't find a partner or get the deal they want, and I don't know, man. But I mean, it's nice to see Chicago like they hung Justin Fields out to dry, basically, and they didn't fucking provide him with any weapon. And it's nice to see him actually like, hey, maybe let's help this kid. And
well, they brought in DJ Moore.
I'm talking about last year.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is, it's nice to see them bring in guys this year to help them. So that would continue that, which would be cool because the league's not that fun when the Bears are awful. I like it when the Bears are good. That's fun.
I like it when the Cowboys are awful, and likely that's usually
it's not going to happen this year, buddy. Wow,
we'll
the playoffs. Just wait till we lose in the playoffs, but we're going to be good this year.
They're usually bad at key moments. All right, so Bills DeMar Hamlin participates in team drills. Are we excited about this, Caleb?
No,
I know you want the kid to retire and go out.
So I'm not excited at all. I'm scared for him. I'm glad that he was able to do it and get out there and pass, but I do not think he should take the field. I just don't. It's not worth it. But I'm not him, and for him, obviously it is. But I don't like it.
Matt?
I don't know enough health. I mean, it's nice to see it for him. I know that's a goal for him, so that probably made him. So he was participating in the drills. Is he going to have his job back?
It sounds like he's cleared for week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know enough about the heart, whatever the hell it was, to know if it's like the odds of that ever happening again. I know it's kind of freaky. It happened to Chris Prong, or hockey player, when he got a puck in the chest and his heart stopped for a minute. So I know it's like a super, super freaky accident, so I don't know what the odds are having again, but it's nice to see that he's healthy anyways.
It's probably about the same amount as the Cowboys winning another Super Bowl.
Oh,
Nigel.
It is a spicy hump day. I love it. I'm in between Caleeb and Matt, I think. I feel like, I mean, he's 25. He's got a whole career ahead of him, and who knows what the Bills could have offered him off the field in terms of like maybe like staying with the organization with his knowledge of what he's done. I don't know, man. I feel the same way. I lean really heavily towards the health issues and just like, you know what, man, maybe this isn't the sport for you with that constant impact. We don't know I mean, Matt had said it best. Like, I know that was a freak accident, but freak accidents, like lightning can strike twice. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I would hate for it to happen. So I'm in between both these gentlemen here on the panel, but I am super happy that he is healthy. But I mean, if he's doing it for the glory story, just so he can run out week 1 with the flag and the fireworks and all that, then he's doing it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion.
I agree. Now, my question is this, and maybe nobody here knows: does the fact that it happened once make him? Is there anything that's weakened on him to make it more likely to happen again based on a hit, or is it just the same odds of it happening in the first place? Like,
I don't know. I thought it happened because it happened in between like the heartbeat at that weird.
It had to happen. The hit had to happen. So that's what I'm saying. But now is he more susceptible to a regular hit, maybe causing something to go off? Because if that's the case, then I agree. Maybe he needs to like not play more. But if it's the same odds of it happening, and listen, he's been wanting to be. I don't know the guy obviously, but I got to imagine he's a pro football player. He's probably been wanting to be a pro player since he was about 5 or 6 years old.
Absolutely.
And he's only just gotten into reaching his goals and his dreams now. And I'm sure he's got more goals now that he's even in the NFL. Those goals expand to what you can accomplish in the NFL. I know what it's like to want something so bad. And sometimes it just means that little bit out of reach.
Aaron Rodgers.
So for
Got him.
Wow. I love this pod today. This is a Matt Gene beef of brewing today. So
we've had it going for a while.
That's true. When your team gets spanked by the Yankees a lot of the time, and it tends to happen. But I could understand him wanting it so bad and it being right there for him. I'm happy for him in that sense. I pray that he has a healthy career going forward. And so I guess to what Nigel said, I'm in the same boat as him, saying I kind of agree a little bit with Caleeb and a little bit with Matt. Like, I get him wanting to this is everything to him, right? All the work that he put in to get here, but at the same time, like I do want to see him be healthy. And if there's any risk that it could happen more than it happened the first time, like now it could be more what's the word? Like I can't even think of the right word. I'm trying to.
They say there's not a higher chance.
See, then I would say go ahead and play. Go accomplish those goals and those dreams.
I get it, and I agree with Matt. Like, and they are saying that, right? But it already did happen, so it's like it just feels a little bit different when it comes to you in particular. You know what I mean? It's like Tua with his concussions. Everybody gets hit, but more people. He's one of the players that if he gets hit, he's way more susceptible than say Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron's more worried about his calf. He ain't worried about concussions. You see what I mean?
He ain't even worried about his calf. He's fine.
There we go. He ain't even worried about his calf. You see what I mean? So like for me, and because it was so devastating, like we've never seen anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm just worried for him. You know what I mean? There was a player back in the 90s who used to play for Loyola Marymount. His name was Hank Gathers. And Hank Gathers had a heart murmur. And he had one issue earlier on in his career that he got over. And the medical staff said, "Oh, you'll be fine. Don't worry. You're in shape. Your heart is fine." And in one game, it wasn't. You see what I mean? And that was it. So and I don't wish that on him, but I'm not going to act like that's not a possibility. Just, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that people say, hey, the odds of this happening are very slim, but it does. It's like, I don't know. I just worry for him. And I know his family will be on pins and needles. And then take that out of it. Just teams. How can you play at a full level when you know he's out there. Even as a running back, as a tight end, as a receiver, you see number 3 coming, you're like, let me take a knee. Right? Like you're not, you don't want to be the guy that hits him and something bad happens.
That can't be DeMar Hamlin's fault, though. That's not on him, though.
No, it's not DeMar Hamlin's fault. It has nothing to do with him. I'm talking about you as a person. A human being sees another human being, and they know what he went through. Do you take a knee? Do you go out of bounds? Do you take the slide? Like, to not have the contact because you don't want to be the person that anything could happen. That's more of what I'm referring to.
Like a Johnny Lawrence sweep the leg when you see Daniel LaRusso already limping.
Come on, man. It's like he didn't want you. He was like, Sensei, I can beat him. You know what I mean? Like he's, because that's messed up. I don't know. I just feel like if it was me, I wouldn't want to hit him.
Mm-hmm. Let me say something too, because first of all, he's a safety. He's gonna have to be 100% because with the AFC East, I mean, now it's stacked. You know what I mean? Every team is going to be good. So he has to be 100%. But what I'm also going to say, too, is physically he's okay. I'm sure he's had to meet with psychologists, go to therapy, because you died. You died on the field. That's what happened. And in my head, I'm like, Gene, you brought it up. He's probably been wanting to do this since he was 5 years old. Are those blinders off? And are you looking at it objectively is kind of what I'm thinking of. So I feel like physically, he sounds okay. Mentally, has he kind of worked through all of this? You know what I mean? Because it hasn't even been, what did this happen in January? Hasn't really been that long. You know what I mean? And sure, practices or OTAs is like fun and games. And, like you're not really going 100%, but that's
not even in pads yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be totally different come September. And I think Caleb's right. When you're T. Higgins, I think T. Higgins is the one that ran into him.
Yeah.
He felt bad.
He did.
Literally was crying. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And T. Higgins, I think he's young too. So like, I can't believe how much that probably impacted him as well. So
it's like, you don't want that.
It scares me. It does. But
who wants to be the next guy? You think Derrick Henry wants to run him over?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I get
it's
that.
Just like, and that to me changes the outcome of the game. So you're gonna take less yards where you could have got a first down, but now you're not because he was gonna make the tackle and you didn't want to do that contact. So like it could literally impact a game, And God forbid you say fuck it and you go and hit him and then he's laid out. Not that he had a heart attack or nothing again, but he did get injured. And like, oh my, like you see what I mean? I don't know. It's just very ugly. I wish the best for him. I would hope that he didn't come back, but hey, he has to live his life. And I wish nothing but the best. And I hope nothing but health and safety and everything is fine for him. But it is nerve wracking. I'm nervous to watch Tua play. Like, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Miami fan.
I'm more nervous for Tua than I am for DeMar. I think Tua's got more like, you know how it is. Once you get one concussion, you crack that seal, they're more likely to happen. It's a little different.
Now, to me, I don't see how it's not any different. When you see this dude has something wrong with his heart in a way to where it did that. You know how many people get hit on a football field and heart don't stop? But yours did. You know what I mean? It's different. I don't know. I guess we don't know enough about it to know if it's more likely. It seems like it's not more likely to happen. Right, but that's what they all say.
Until they prove wrong.
Oh, once you've been shot, you're less likely to get shot again. Ask Tupac. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this happened. Oh, this you're less. It's like, no. I don't know. But I digress. It's a lot. Oh God, I'm just so scared for him. That's all I'll say.
I agree. And listen, I'll tell you what. If you want to play this year, DeMar Hamlin, go ahead and play. Maybe take 2 games a year off. Just 2 games, right, Abby?
Take
2 games off.
Take 2 games off, but do what listen. You worked hard to get here. Do what you want to do, but I agree with Caleb, buddy. I get it. So, all right. So now let's rank those NFC West quarterbacks. Let's start with Matt.
Okay, this is a tricky question. So is it like quarterbacks or quarterback play?
Quarterbacks, but you can give me if you. I know because San Francisco is a little bit of a question mark, so you can give me an amalgam of what you think.
The Cardinals right now don't have a quarterback either.
Well, I'm still gonna. I mean, Murray will be back by
I know what you're saying, but
Murray's
now
not
it's
a good.
like Colt McCoy might be starting.
I think either way, and maybe I'll sneak preview into mine real quick. Either way, no matter who the quarterback is in Arizona, I had them last anyway. It didn't change. It didn't affect mine at all. They're the last place.
They don't have no weapons.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. But Matt, what's your ranking?
Okay, so the best quarterback, I think, is Matt Stafford.
Absolutely.
Still, you still think he's
agreed.
The best?
Yeah, I do. I'm not ready to jump on the Purdy train just yet after half a season, but also it can everyone looks good in San Francisco. Everyone looks good at quarterbacks there. Jimmy G looks good there. Yeah.
But that's not their fault.
No, you're right. That's true. It's not. I'm gonna go. I think there's gonna be some regression with Geno Smith. I still think he's good. He's good. It's a good story. It's a great story. It's happy to see him. But I'm gonna go Stafford, and then I'm gonna go whoever is the Niners quarterback. Because I think they're gonna Lance hasn't really looked good, but he hasn't really had much of a shot. But I have faith in Shanahan. Then I'm gonna go Geno Smith, and then I'm going Kyler Murray. Well, Kyler Murray's the best athlete. Maybe Lance could give him a run for that, but he's the best athlete on there, and he's a great fantasy quarterback. But his actual quarterback play, it needs a lot of work, and it's very telling when a lot of your teammates A, don't like you, but B, come out on Twitter and in the press and bury you while you're still on the team. That speaks volumes. So I'm going that order.
I think you're way off. And maybe I'm the one that's way off, but I think you're way off. Geno Smith is going to regress. They gave him more weapons this year. He's going to be better this year.
Let me ask you this.
Geno Smith is my number one quarterback in this division. Not only did he was great last year, and then they give him Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they give him Zach Charbonnet. He already was loaded at receiver. He already had a really good running back. And now they're going to give another really good running back and possibly the best receiver in the draft.
Wait, you had him number one?
I have him number one.
Oh, my God.
How many times?
He doesn't have a ring. The only one who has a ring is Stafford.
I'm talking about going this year, who's going to be the number one quarterback. I'm ranking it.
I'll push back on that for 1 second.
Go ahead.
How many quarterbacks at age 31 had a breakout year and then been awesome forever? Also, did you watch the last 5 or 6 games of the year with Geno Smith? Not very good, man. That's more of the. He's got more weapons. But I don't. Well, I'll tell you what. Time will tell. But I don't see him being a Pro Bowl quarterback. I mean, Pro Bowl doesn't really mean shit.
I'm gonna give you another hot take. My number 2 quarterback.
Is it a hot take or is it a stupid take?
You tell me in about 30 seconds. The number 2 quarterback who's going to make a huge jump in the quarterback.
You're going to say Trey Lance?
No, Trey Lance won't even sniff the field this year as a starter. Sam Darnold is going to be this year's
out of here. Get lost.
He's going to be this year's Geno Smith. You said it yourself, Matt. You said it yourself. This is a system that produces good quarterbacks. No one's ever said Sam Darnold didn't have talent. He had tremendous talent. We just couldn't develop it.
He got beat out
now
by Baker Mayfield.
The best place that you can go to develop talent is San Francisco. Who is the best right now at developing quarterback talent?
Yeah, I feel like Stephen A. on this spot right now is just laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I got Stafford as 3. Stafford's old. He's been in the league for 45 years. Stafford's old. He's got no weapons. He's got Cooper Kupp.
He's still the best quarterback.
I think Sam Darnold actually becomes a full-fledged starter this year and becomes I'm not saying a top 10 quarterback. He's a top half of the league quarterback by the end of the year. And I think Geno Smith is better than he was last year only because of the weapons they added.
You know what, Gene? You must be doing what you saw that. I don't know if you saw that meme yesterday with Sauce and Aaron Rodgers doing this. You must be doing that this morning because that's ridiculous.
Abby, give me your list.
Okay. Matthew Stafford, number 1, easy number 1. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards most of his fucking career.
I'm talking about, but this year is he going to be the number 1 quarterback in the division this year?
I get it. We're talking. No. I'm looking at just the quarterback solely. I'm not looking at their team or anything else.
Okay.
Now,
I agree. Stafford is better.
Number 2, Geno Smith. I don't think he regresses this year. They paid him. That man's on a mission. He was a Pro Bowler last year. The Seahawks just got better with the draft. Easy number 2. Now, number 3, if we're looking at Kyler Murray, I got Kyler Murray. I haven't seen enough of Brock Purdy yet. He's probably going to be the starter. He was set up for success when he came in there. All you have to do is throw the ball. Now, Sam Darnold, I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think he's going to be fight for probably the backup. He'll probably be number 2. I think he can beat out. He has a good chance of beating out Trey Lance. But I saw enough of him watching. I've watched a lot of Carolina games this year. He's at his potential, and that's all that he's going to be. He's not going to improve any more than what he is now.
Nope.
So,
Incorrect.
and he's not bad. He's just a solid backup. So again, I had Stafford, Smith, Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, and then finish it off with Brock Purdy.
Sam Darnold is in a place where if he can't be developed there, you can't develop quarterbacks anywhere. It's the best place for quarterbacks to be developed is in San Francisco.
Developed. Sam Darnold's been in the league 15 years.
But it took Geno Smith. But it took Geno Smith even more to get to where he's at.
I get it.
Geno Smith getting punched in the face.
If Geno Smith can, but if Geno Smith can make that jump that he did, why can't Sam Darnold do it in a situation that's perfect for a quarterback?
No. I get that. And he could, you know what I mean? Like, and you could get hit by a bus. So, hey, There's that. What I will say is this, right? The fastest adapting organism in the world is an NFL defense. Mm-hmm. Purdy had his season last year. We're on it. We got it. We say your tendencies. We got tape on you now. Geno, breakout. Matt said it, hit it right on the head. When it came down to it, defense was like, wait a minute. Okay, it's time to get serious. Shut him down. His numbers went because they know what to do, right? Kyler Murray is my favorite quarterback out of all of them to watch play. It's so fun. Like, he just makes it fun. Get your popcorn ready watching that dude play. But he doesn't have no weapons, and it's not going to be anything. I think the Trey Lance of it, we don't know enough. He hasn't played enough. He's always injured, but athletically, he can do something. I definitely don't think it'll be Sam Darnold. I think Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback out of all of them. It's obvious. It's like, of course, when you think of quarterbacking, right? But I don't know if Geno regresses, but I don't think he turns the league on fire next season, even with those weapons. And here's something that people don't ever pay attention to. You're right. Geno has been in the league since 1982, right? Exaggerating, but you get my point. Yeah. But here's what happens to players once they get the bag. They go, right? And now Geno has the money, and it's, he's acting, oh yeah, I'll be ready. No, he's not. Like, he's paid now. He played for years and didn't get paid. Now he did. He's relaxing. Ain't no need. Well, like he'll go out there and play, but I don't think he's gonna set the league on fire. He has nothing. Like, he has stuff to prove, but not really, because these dudes don't care about a ring. Geno don't care about no ring. He cares about the bag.
I pushed back on a little bit on one thing with the bag with Geno Smith. He didn't sign a long-term deal. I think it was only 3 years. He's still got more time in his career, so he still has something to play for. And I'll tell you what, I didn't listen when Geno was a Jet quarterback. I wasn't a fan. I thought he was immature. He got into fights in the locker room. If we all remember, I can't remember the name of the defensive tackle that punched him in his mouth and broke his jaw. I think
it was Bart Scott.
No, it wasn't Bart Scott. I love Bart Scott. He's one of my favorite Jets of all time is Bart Scott. It was IK. It was IK something. His first name was initials. It was IK, and I can't remember his last name.
Oh, okay.
He was a rookie that year. You got punched in the mouth by a rookie in the locker room. So listen, he's been through some stuff where I didn't like him as far as a quarterback because I thought he was immature. He has now shown me that he's been immature. He's been through sometimes you got to go through hell to get to heaven, right? Yes. It's the old saying, everybody wants to die, but nobody wants to go to hell.
No, everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die.
That's what I'm saying. There we go. And he, I screwed that one up. But that's what I'm saying. But he did that. Like, he went through all those trials and tribulations. He went through all that hard work and came out on the other end a better player for it. And I think he is going to be. I think that he's taken those life lessons and those lessons on the field together. And I think he'll be better this year. He threw for 4,200 yards last year. With more weapons, I think he throws for. I don't want to say he's going to throw 5,000. I'm not saying that. I think he can throw for a few more than that. I think he goes at least 42 again this year. And I'll give you guys just to go back with everything what everybody was saying. If we're talking about lifetime achievement, Stafford's the number one quarterback in this division. Fair enough. I'm talking about for this year. I don't have Stafford. I think Stafford takes not a major. I shouldn't say major.
No, he is going to take a step back because he don't have no weapons outside.
And he's older. He's another year older. He's not young.
I totally get it. Years. But as a quarterback, who's the best quarterback out of that division? It's him. He's still the best quarterback. You know what I mean? I think. And we could go from there. But again, I'm a Kyler Murray fan. I think Kyler is phenomenal. I just love watching him play. So there's that.
Gene, let me run this by you.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me
run this by you.
Here you go.
56, 45, 49, 54, 37. What is that? That's
last night's lottery winning numbers.
Geno Smith's QBR his last 5 games of the year.
Jesus Christmas.
That's not great.
That's not great.
Fair enough. That's not great. Fair enough.
That's it. That's all. Also, wait, I have a question for you guys. This kind of gets disguised or forgotten about just because the team is so good and they didn't really take a step back. But don't the Niners owe it to themselves to give Lance a shot based on how much they gave up to get that pick?
I think they're looking to. I think they're going to want to trade him this year. I think they say, hey, you know what? We could still get something really good for this kid.
Yeah. Could you?
If they're going to run it with Brock Purdy, they need to trade Trey Lance.
Yeah, but Purdy might not be ready though. That's what I'm saying. He might not be ready. So, if you're them, don't you owe it to the team to try and give him a shot, or have they seen enough?
I think they've seen more than we have. So I would imagine if you think Purdy, if you look at Purdy and Darnold, and you think one of those two guys are the guy, and if any out of all those 3 guys, who would you get more for in a trade? Would be Trey Lance, right? Because of the potential coming in, he was a high pick. I think you get more for trading Trey Lance than you would get from anybody else. So I think you look at it, as long as you know that these other 2 guys, either Darnold or Purdy, could be the guy. I then trade Lance and get as much as I can for him, maybe recoup some of the picks that I used to move up in the other drafts. And let's face it, that GM is one of the smartest GMs in the league. I fully trust whatever he's going to do. If he decides to keep Lance, I trust him what he does because he has made basically John Lynch has made basically correct decision after correct decision. But you know what? Nigel, explain to him why Geno Smith is the best quarterback in the division, and I'm right, and Darnold's probably close to number 2.
From the bottom up, it goes Geno Smith, Arizona Cardinals, whoever the Arizona Cardinals football club quarterback. Then I'll go Brock Purdy, and then I'll go number 1 is who do I get left? Stafford.
So nobody agrees with me at all.
Am
I the smartest? Am I the smartest in the room?
Not yet.
You guys
everyone just stuffed you in the locker.
I think so. I'm about to mute Gene for talking absolute nonsense. Excuse me. I gotta be honest. I think we're gonna line up the apology tour for you guys.
Okay.
Once we get to about mid-year, and you can see that Darnold is not only become the starter because he had a great preseason. I'll say this. Barring injury, he starts the most games for the 49ers.
Nope. Purdy's going to start. And barring injury, Purdy will be the only quarterback playing for the 49ers.
I feel like Skip Bayless right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, all right. So I guess everybody pretty much agrees with each other except for me, really. I think Stafford's up in consensus number 1. It seems like there's some mixture.
Mostly smart people in this group.
What was your ranking again, Matt? Did you give your ranking? What was your ranking?
I had Stafford, Geno. No, I had Stafford, San Francisco quarterback, whoever. Not Darnold. I'll just say Purdy. Stafford, Purdy, Geno, Kyler.
All right. Well, I think you might be wrong, but all right. Well, that's that. We'll see what happens this year. Potential, and to talk about, we're talking a little bit about a potential Lance trade. What is the possibility, I guess, of this really happening, Nigel? Do you think that if Purdy comes in, or Sam Darnold, as I say, comes in and proves to be the number 1 guy, does it make sense for them to make that trade sooner than later? Do you wait till next offseason, or did you do it by like the trading deadline this year? What would you do if you're John Lynch?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to defer to Abby because Abby was making a great point about that Trey Lance trade or rumors or anything about it. Because I think you were starting to say something and you might have gotten cut off or whatever. But Abby, go ahead and you knock this one out of the park for me.
I know. Sorry, my internet's been weird. No, I was saying if they're going to run it with Brock Purdy, they need to trade Trey Lance. Period. And honestly, we talked about it earlier in the year. Minnesota, that'd be a great fit for him. Once if they're planning on doing whatever with Kirk Cousins, it sounds like they're planning on eventually moving on from him. I think if I'm correct, is Trey Lance from Minnesota? I thought he had some connection to Minnesota.
I don't know. I know he went to school like in the Midwest. I don't know where he's from.
I'll find that connection real quick. But
Patty, look that up real quick. Where's Trey Lance from? What's his hometown? And then pop it in there for us. So but yeah, I don't know.
You know what? I think they shouldn't trade him. After what happened to them last year in the NFC Championship, you want to hold on to as many quarterbacks as you can. And because he's young and he's athletic and he has the ability to play, do you know what type of punch you can give to a team that's preparing for Brock Purdy? And then you throw in Trey Lance and he can run? Like, you now have Lamar Jackson. You now look like the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Imagine the running. You got Christian McCaffrey, Trey Lance, and Debo? What? With Kittle's right there? And oh my God, you can't stop it. And John Lynch is no dummy. He recognizes that. You do not trade that kid. You at least give him this season. If it don't work this season, then you go get it, right? Marshall, Minnesota. So you're right. Good one. But I'm telling you right now, that is potent. They'll stop Purdy. Purdy don't give you nothing to fear outside of him throwing the football. But when you can run and pass, that is the goal. That's the holy grail. You got that with Trey. I would never trade him right now. Like if he messes up, shits the bed, it's terrible, and you can get all these great picks next season, yes, but absolutely not this season. Do you know what San Francisco would look like with that tandem? Purdy over here and Lance over. Oh, man, it was nasty.
I can see that, and you can even do certain things. You can do so many different things, just lining them up, maybe bringing them outside from under the center.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm thinking just strictly Madden purposes. I'm putting Purdy out, and Trey Lance is my quarterback. We're gonna run the table. Like with that defense and that guy, like that's how you gotta think. Like you look at the weapons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Trey Lance is half decent, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Him back there, tragedy. You don't want to see it. Everybody would prefer Purdy than that guy. Like defenses. They'll be like,
I understand. Matt, what do you think?
I just don't know if there's value because he's such an unknown.
You got to play him up in and you got to let him play. Obviously, preseason, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to be ready for preseason, but you got to give him some opportunities to like look good and whatnot. But which might make sense to wait a year. Maybe you don't do it at the trade deadline.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, if he looks good in preseason, and is a team really going to want to trade for him and have a 23-year-old kid have to learn a new playbook and you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know.
It's not ideal, but if you feel like the talent level is there.
Yeah, that's the most important position. So I guess that's true if you find someone you like. But I mean, if like you said, Lynch is a smart guy. So if there's value, I think he's gone. They'll trade him. But I just don't know how many people are willing to gamble on. Like we haven't seen like anything from him. Like his first preseason, he looked awful and lost the job, and then he broke his ankle. Yeah. So yeah.
I think we've seen crazier things.
Better now. What's that?
I think we've seen crazier things. I think people would take a chance.
Yeah.
For sure. I think teams that are struggling, they take a chance for sure. No problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he'll definitely get a shot. Yeah. I just don't know if it's going to be this. They're going to trade him this off season.
I wouldn't.
You get more for him if you wait. I feel like you need to give him some playing time. You got to
keep him this season. You just don't want to be in that same position as you were in the NFC Championship game. You keep him for at least at minimum this season. I mean, let him show you.
Yeah. Well, Gene thinks they would win the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold.
I didn't say Super Bowl. Abby, I didn't say Super Bowl. Come on, don't
you were trying to.
Well,
That's
no,
what you're
he's
trying
gonna
to.
have this
I
breakout
said he's
year.
gonna.
He's
I
bringing
said
them
he's
to
gonna.
the Super Bowl.
I said Sam Darnold is going to have a breakout year, and I stand by that. And until he's not the starter, I will continue to stand by that. I think he's a chance he goes to preseason and beats out Brock Purdy. I do think there's a chance of that happening. But that's, listen, we'll see how it goes. I think they went out and they signed him for a reason. They didn't have to sign him. They signed him for a reason. I think they signed him because they knew, hey, he's got a skill set we can develop. And he's not old yet. He's been in the league enough to know, and this could be the next Geno Smith.
No one's agreeing with you. That's why
I love how it was like just silent, and then Caleb chuckles.
Everyone had to mute themselves.
So, okay, let's talk some golf. So the PGA buys out the merging with the Live. Caleb, what's your take on this, man? Like, this might be the biggest sports news of the last month, really. I mean, it's huge. What's your take on it?
It is the definition and the point of a capitalistic society. The bottom line trumps all things. No pun intended with the Trump thing, but it trumps all things, right? So morality doesn't matter. How you feel doesn't matter. Any of that doesn't matter as long as if it makes dollars and it makes sense. That's it, right? They're going to Live will now control the PGA, right? And it's strictly for billions and billions. And as Muhammad Ali would say, billions and billions of dollars. That's what you're dealing with. And people can feel how they want. But in our society, money talks and BS walks.
Yep.
That's it. And I think people are like, oh, they're hypocrites. Yeah. So that's what it is. The answer is no today. Tomorrow it's yes.
Yeah.
That's how business is done. It sucks, but that's the way it is. You know what I mean? And nobody likes it until it's on their side. Then it's different, right? PGA was upset because the golfers was getting all that money. $100 million here, 200. Phil Mickelson got $200 million from the Saudis, right? More money than he's ever made in his career in one signing of a pen, right? He was getting murdered, trashed. He's supporting people that violate human rights, and they don't like gay people, and they kill reporters. And he said, okay. Then 6 months later, the same people said, well, you know what? Let's not be too hasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So listen, it's sad, but this is the truth of America, everybody. That's what capitalism means. Okay? It's not about how you feel. It's not about what's right. It's about what makes sense. And I'm talking the CENTS, sense. That kind. You know what I mean? So I get it.
Stephen A. Smith had a great take on it this morning, and he was naming all these other businesses that do a tremendous amount of business with the Saudi Arabia. He goes, how come we're not up in arms about all these other? And he listed like 20 companies, if not more. Well, how come we're not all up in arms about these companies doing business there? But we're upset about this.
Because we like their product. So nobody cares that Coca-Cola does business with the Saudis. You know why? Because you like Cherry Coke. Because you like Gatorade. Because you like Sprite. So that's okay. You know what I mean?
And it goes to your point. It just shows the hypocrisy of what some of these people, how they feel and what they think and what they say. Either that, or if not hypocrisy, at least uneducated to the situation.
Absolutely. It all is. Everything is based on money. We try to act like morals and value. No, none of that matters. Nobody gives a damn about what works or what that is. Do people stop buying Nike because they got factories in India and China that allegedly pay children to make the product? Nobody's going to stop. Even if you found out kids were making your Jordans, guess what? You're still buying them. Because don't nobody really care. We like to act like we care. But do we really? We
post an IG post, and that's our commitment
right.
to the cause.
That's right. That's right. Don't nobody care about it, man. Like, just stop. Just stop. The only reason why there's so much outcry with all this wokeness is because it's profitable. The same The same people been fighting and yelling for their rights for 50 years. The only time people started changing was because it was profitable. And the second it's no longer profitable, guess what? Back to the old way. Whatever makes money is what's in vogue. Period. And I know it sucks, but it's the reality. That's what it is.
Yeah, I would say I don't think any of us are agreeing with that's the way it should be. It's just the way it is.
Oh, it's definitely not what it should be.
So yeah, before everyone thinks that, Caleb's
equal.
saying one thing, I don't think that's what he's saying. It should be that way. I think he's saying that's just what happens to be the way it is. And
Yeah,
that's what sucks.
it should be. Hell, I mean, it should be heaven on earth. We all should have $1 billion. We, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but that's not the way it is. And I think this is just a rude awakening for the world to see. Like, that's what it is. Your favorite people. Yes. And you know who I really feel bad for? All the golfers that said no. And they were offered $100 million and said no because they were standing on principle.
Like Rory.
Like Rory and DeChambeau and all these guys. And now you're merging with the league. So the people that got the $100 million still get to come and play with you, except they're $100 million richer than you.
It is a bit of a slap in the face. Abby, what's your take?
Oh no, Caleb hit it right on the head. Like, it's all capitalism. It's all money. I just Googled right now, like, which company, because you mentioned companies that do business with Saudi Arabia and why we're kind of focused on the PGA Tour. It's a lot of companies.
It's a lot.
Popular fucking companies too. I'm not even going to mention. Yeah, I'm not even going to mention anything. But yeah, it sucks for some of the players that stood by the PGA because now they look dumb as hell. I mean, I think Tiger was offered like $800 million or something like that.
They need to be mad at the PGA. They need to be mad at the PGA. I get them.
Well, exactly. They need to be mad at the PGA.
But one thing, they absolutely should be. But one thing that I want to say about the Tiger thing, he's already a billionaire.
Yeah,
you know how much money you have to have for somebody to say, hey, Nigel, I got $800 million for you if you come over here. And you say, Caleb, I'm cool. What? Like, you have to be so rich that $800 million makes you, like, that's, so you can't even put Tiger, like, of course Tiger Woods can say no, but, MC Get Busy, who's just charting the golf, can't? Like, that's what I mean. And they're buying people. Of course, you think Phil Mickelson feels good about that there's things that look bad? Yeah. But you also can say, well, damn, I'm working for this company. I'm a citizen of the United States. Are we going to talk about all the atrocities America has committed against people in this world? Oh, no, I'm anti-American if I mention that. It's all the same. It's no different. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. There's a price to pay to be in power. To be in power, you got to shed a little blood, baby. That's how it is. You know what I mean? And so, and what we do, we can't make up for your loss, but we can damn sure make it easier. We can give you money. That's it.
That's the American dream, right?
Money talks.
You get shot. So a cop, you're in your car driving, and a cop comes and slams into you. They can't fix the fact that they broke both your legs and your neck is broken, but you know what they can do? And the first thing you're going to want is a check. And the check is supposed to make it better. Because people they can say, oh, it doesn't fix it. Okay, then give the money back. Oh, hold on. Okay, then. Let's stop act. Everybody has these acts that they like to put on. Oh, it's not about the money. It's about shut up. It's always about the money. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. And then
in this economy, yeah.
And then like I said, these other golfers who stood up on the pride. Yes, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, cool. If you're gonna stick to that, now that you know you're the company you were trying to support and stay on the righteous side caved in, are you gonna still golf for the PGA? Because if you really stand on it, here's why Muhammad Ali is called the greatest of all time. It's not because of all his victories in the ring. It's for his victory outside the ring, right? He stood up and would not fight because he was not going to go to fight in Vietnam to kill more poor people that ain't never called me the N-word. He stood on it. He lost his prime and lost millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he stayed with it no matter what.
Yeah.
Is anybody else going to do it? Let's see.
We'll see.
No, they're not. I guarantee you, at the Masters next year or whatever the next PGA Tour, they all going to be there. Golf.
Well, I think they started letting them come. They let some of them come into the Masters already.
No. I'm not talking about live golfers. I'm talking about the PGA golfers that were staunchly against it and spoke out and wouldn't take the money. I guarantee you they're going to be at the next PGA Tour next to Phil Mickelson when he gets helicoptered into each hole because he's so financially rich now. He might teleport to the holes. He don't walk no more.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just hilarious. It just really is, man. It's like we try to be principled when you know it's all a facade. It's not true.
Nigel, what's your take?
I mean, my short take is there's just no loyalty, man. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna, say anything much different. It's capitalism, it's money. I just think the merger happened a lot faster than anybody thought it was going to happen. And it happened at a really weird time, right? Because I think
like out of nowhere, really. I mean,
I think isn't the U.S. Open next week or something, and then there's another, and then the British Open is a couple weeks after. Yeah, a couple weeks after that. It just seems like a really weird. It's not like an off season for golf. It's not like a pivotal moment or something's going to shift. It just kind of happened. Boom, we're doing the thing. But then again, I'm not a big golf guy, so I mean, to hear all this blow up and everybody's faces on the on the U.S. side was wild. So there's a lot of takes out there, y'all. So if you want to hear some takes, you hit any of your favorite pods, including this one, or news stations or whatever, and it is wild. I didn't realize it impacted so many of the golfers. So it is what it is. Money rules the world.
Yeah, cream, right?
Yep.
Matt, what you take, man?
Well, I think the PGA is going to have to. I imagine they'll probably find some way to compensate the guys who said no and stuck by their guns and then got fucking roasted.
It ain't gonna be $100 million.
Yeah, I would say I can't see them going up anywhere near it. But.
It's but it's also a rough look for Jay Monahan, who remember he brought up the 9/11 survivors, and he used that as a way of and now obviously it's so transparent that that was just a tool to make. He co-opted that whole thing to make the golfers who left look guilty and shitty and 9/11, they don't care about that. And then he goes, fuck it, why not? It's a lot of money. And money talks, and that's the way the world goes around, and yada yada yada.
I think he's the worst out of the whole situation. Jay Monahan can't even leave his house right now.
Also, you don't give Rory and the guys on the board a little heads up before it happens.
Well, one of the things that I'll say, I saw on one of the on the Golf Channel, one of the guys was saying, if you notice, within the last 8 weeks, Rory's tone towards the live started softening and changing a little bit. And they were like, what did Rory know that we didn't?
Oh,
and I
right.
think, you know what I mean? Because they were Monahan and them, they're talking about it. And listen, Monahan is going to be the scapegoat. He'll probably be kicked off of the PGA thing eventually, right? But he's gonna get kicked out and land on a colossal sum of money. Trust and believe.
The infamous golden parachute.
Is paid. That's what it was. He was upset that you paying these golfers all this money, but ain't nobody coming to me. And I'm telling you, all of our professional things are at risk. The NBA, hockey, NFL. Why not? They got more money. They said the Saudi fund is at $738 billion.
That's fucked up.
I want the NFL. Roger Goodell says, "Oh, you can't afford it. It's $100 billion. Okay, I'll give you $130 billion. How about that? Is that nice? Does that make you feel good?
Yeah.
It's nothing. NBA, I want it. $100 billion. LeBron, you work for me now. Why stop? I want baseball. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Now when you mention it, I didn't even think about the impact it could have in creeping into other sports. I don't necessarily know that it will.
They can buy everything.
But that's the scary part of it.
Which NFL owner, you think Jerry is going to hold on to the Cowboys? if the Saudis say we want him,
and
he says it's 10 billion, and they say here's 50. Like that's what I mean. It's what happened in our business with streamers. It's why Netflix got so powerful, because what they were doing, you guys, if you don't know, an actor made $5 a movie, right? Netflix would give you 15 up front to come do something for them. They were taking it. That's how they got Kevin Spacey on House of Cards. They overpaid. They said he was getting 20 million a season. He never made that money in his life. You see what I mean? That's the equivalent, right? And you saw what it did to our business here. So imagine in those worlds with billions, hundreds of billions.
Yeah. Scary.
And it don't stop. It's oil money. You better pray Elon Musk makes more Teslas.
All right.
You need a Tesla jet and all of that, because it's about to be a wrap.
There you go. So let's talk a little NBA. We haven't done any NBA yet, so let's talk a little NBA. Let's preview Game 3, and we'll combine 1 and 2 because Tyler Hero is out for Game 3. Caleb, what are we expecting for Game 3?
I think Denver wins this one. I do.
Really?
Yeah. Miami's gonna put up a good fight. I think what happened with Denver, they took their foot off the gas a little bit. They were up 15. They thought, and Miami gritted it out, right? So Denver now is like, oh, okay. Like we see that dog that everybody's been talking about. We're ready. I think they're gonna win tonight. I think they split. I think Miami wins 1, Denver wins 1. So Miami could win tonight, but I don't think they sweep at home. And I don't think Denver sweeps them at home either. I think they split. So they'll go back 2-2 to Denver, and it'll be the best out of 3. And I think Denver wins this series.
Abby?
I agree. I was reading a stat that the team that wins Game 3 wins the title 80. Well, if it's tied 1-1, the team who wins Game 3 wins the title 80% of the time. So with that stat, I'm hoping it's Denver, but I agree with Caleb. I think it's going to be a split. I mean, the Nuggets basically, I think starting off Game 2, they had to get punched in the mouth real good by Miami to let you know, like, oh, we're still here. You know what I mean? I forgot the score of Game 1. I don't know if Patty can post that or whatever. But I mean, Game 2, I mean, it's a close game. I mean, and Jamal Murray had a shot. You know what I mean? Yep. And Miami, I don't think they can. Miami, the reason that they won that game is that strong last quarter, the fourth quarter. I mean, they had like 30-something points or something like that. So, but you're right, Caleb. They took their foot off the brake a little bit, and that kind of just led to their downfall. I think Denver just needs to maintain their pace of things, because once Miami starts controlling it, they start to slump a little bit. So, hoping it's Denver tonight, but yeah, I don't think Miami wins both games in Miami.
Matt?
I think it's Denver. I'm sticking with them, although it's hard to count out Miami because they're like, they hit to start to Abby's point. They were down 8 going into the fourth quarter, and it looked like, okay, I know where this is going. And they hit, I think, 9 of the first 10 shots of the fourth quarter, and they're hitting threes. Like this again. This is what they've been doing all playoffs. I think they're 50% from 3 in the game, and Denver was missing shots. Porter Jr. is on a milk carton because he no-showed. And then, but it's scary how they can just go. Like Miami went up. I think Miami was up 8 or 9 with like 2 minutes left. Right? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
They were.
And then all of a sudden it was just like 3 plays. Oh, it's down 1 possession. It's a 1-possession game, and it's scary how quick they can go on that. And I'm surprised they didn't call a timeout and run a play to end the game there. Murray got an okay shot. It's not like a super clean look, like a step back 3, but he makes those. He makes those sometimes. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, like I think Duncan Robinson went through a stretch where he had all of his points in like 5 minutes or something like that.
In the fourth quarter.
Right? Yeah. So, I'm sticking with Denver. I think they're a better team. I think Jokic is a beast, and there's just all this talk about, they kind of shut down his passing game because I think he only had 4 or 5 assists. But it's like, well, no. What happened was Miami just wasn't hitting the shots Denver wasn't hitting the shots
they normally do
that he was getting.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with Denver.
Nigel.
You remember that time in elementary school when you had a crush on somebody and you might be like, you're in class and your desk is probably midway through. So it's not at the front, but it's not at the back. And you're writing a little note. Maybe you're drawing a picture and you're going to pass it off to that person, or you're going to pass it through a chain of people to get to that person. And then you eventually get busted. Like the teacher's like, hey, what's the answer to the question? So that teacher reacting was Miami reacting to the Nuggets, drawing that little picture of Larry O.B. They're just drawing that trophy real quick. You know what I mean? Hey! And then Miami's like, boom, punch you in the mouth, like Abby said, right? Boom, you busted your caught. And then what happens? Then you go home and you remember that instance. And what do? You make a mixtape instead on your own time. You make a mixtape, listening to the radio, and you're making sure that the DJ doesn't get in it because you want to make sure that Jodeci is like legit and is like through the whole way, or like Boys to Men, you know what I mean? You want to make sure. That's what Denver is doing now. Now they're doing this stuff on their own time to make sure that when they go back to class, they just have to give them the tape and it's a wrap. I still think Denver in 6. I think tonight they win. If they don't win, I'm going to jump on Caleeb's train. If they don't win, they're going to win the next one. So it will be split, I think, because Miami's, you can't count the Hydra out. You can't. I said it from the jump. Can't count them out.
Since Milwaukee.
Yep, they can't count them out. So I think they will put up a lot of a fight, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Denver in 6. Boom, let's listen to that mixtape.
I agree. I think they will split Miami, although I think right now Miami's hot enough that I think they win this game. I think they win 3, and then I think Denver will then go on their run and close out the series, and it will be Denver in 6. I think the things they didn't do right in game 1, the same way, Nigel, you said how Denver's going to make adjustments from game 2 to game 3. I think my feeling is that's what Miami did from game 1 to game 2. They made their adjustments to the point where I think they played better defense. I think they committed to stopping Murray. If you see, Murray hasn't really gone off yet. So I think they've switched their commitment to saying, listen, Jokic is going to do what he's going to do. Let's try to close off the passing lanes a little bit. Let's try to keep Murray from let's give an extra hand in Murray's face. Let's not let Murray go off on us. And I think that they made more adjustments from game 1 to game 2, and Denver kind of just sat back. We've already heard their coach talk about effort. You know what? I need to see a little effort from Coach Malone. I don't think Mike Malone had enough effort. I think I need to see a better coaching performance from him in game 2. I think I felt like he kind of walked through game 2 a little bit the same way that his team did.
The only thing I questioned about Coach was I agree with Matt. He didn't call the timeout. But I agree with that too. I understand why he didn't, because you trust your team. There was 4 seconds left. Murray's got the ball. You don't call a timeout when your star player has got the ball in his hands and there's time to do something. You just say, all right, buddy, this is where you make your money. Go win us the game. If he makes that shot, we're having a different conversation. And of course, if it was a 5th, we'd all be drunk. But the point is, it's like, it wasn't like they were getting blown out. He put it in his star player's hands. He missed. It happens, right? So I'm not mad. The adjustment that Spoelstra did that I think really altered Denver was the putting Kevin Love in. Yeah. Because Kevin Love is tall. He's bigger. That messed up Gordon. Aaron Gordon wasn't used to somebody that tall, that with those arms all in his face. So it threw him off. And in these games, it's like football. They say football is a game of inches. It's the same thing in basketball. It's like small adjustments can have a big outcome. And nobody knew Michael Porter Jr. was going to go 0 for 7 from 3-point, right? Just like in game 1, when Strauss went 0 for 9, I came on and I said, that's not going to happen again. And what did Strauss hit 5 out of 6? Like, that's what happens. It's like, that's the flow. So I expect Michael Porter Jr. to not be 0 for 7 tonight. You know what I mean? And that's going to change. Listen, Michael Porter goes, just say he went 2 for 9, 2 for 5, 2 for 7, they would have won the game. If you'd have just made 2 threes, they would have won. If you'd have made 1, they would have been tied, and Murray would have been shooting for the win. Right? So, like, that's how small.
Well, we can also say the same thing about Strus in game 1. Strus went 0 for 9 from 3-point range.
Of course,
if he puts up the same numbers that he does in game 2, and that's what I'm saying is I think maybe it's more of the adjustment of what from game 1 to game 2. Like, is what's more likely to happen? Miami to follow up with their performance and make even more adjustments from game 2 to game 3, or for Denver Nuggets to make their adjustments from game 2 to game 3?
Denver's going to make their adjustments because Miami has already shown their hand. That's all they can do. They don't have nobody bigger than Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo. That's it. They can't get bigger. You already seen Duncan Robinson. He's already had his game. I doubt he's going to have another.
Bam's having a good series. Bam's having a nice series.
Bam is always consistent. But what I'm saying is Miami has no more tricks to give.
I think we still haven't even seen Jimmy Butler go off yet.
The only difference is Tyler Hero could be something that could come in, but he's not playing in game 3. So that's off the table, right? Yeah. Like there's really nothing else Miami can throw to give a different look. That was their best shot and they won. But now Denver knows. So what's Denver going to do now? You know what I mean? That's what the question tonight is going to be. And then you're right. Buckets is a superstar. So he may go off. But usually when a superstar goes off, sometimes the other players don't contribute as much. So we're going to see. So I think it's going to be good. I don't expect Robinson the ball. I expect Caleb Martin the ball. Great name, as I always say. I expect what's the dude with the braids, the point guard. Jeez, I'm forgetting his name with the beard. See, because he's a rec player. I forgot. You know what I'm talking about. I think
Gabe
it's
Vincent.
number 10.
Mm-hmm. Gabe Vincent?
Yes, Vincent. Like those guys. I'm expecting them to ball tonight. But I just think Denver's got too much. I think they do. I think they just have too much. And if Porter Jr. is on, it's over.
I killed him. I'll be honest. I killed him on Monday. When me and Nigel spoke about the game, I killed him. I was one of the guys. That was one of my spots that I looked at. Like Denver, that was one of the things that cost Denver that game is Michael Porter being completely irrelevant. We do, Patty. If you want to play the clip, we have a clip of Steve Kerr talking to on Draymond Green's podcast.
Is he a friend of yours or something?
Little Stevie Kerr. Play that clip real quick, Patty.
You mentioned them starting Love. That allowed Jimmy Butler to guard Murray. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was like, I haven't talked to Spo or anything like that, but I can see them in their coaches meetings saying Murray's the head of the snake. Not Jokic. If you just look at it, you go, well, Jokic is the head of the snake. But when you play a team, you sort of realize, wait a second. Like that guy's he's gonna dominate no matter what we do. So this is the head of the snake. And I think they just decided Murray's the guy we got to stop. So you start Love, you put Jimmy Butler on Murray, and then you saw like they were blitzing Murray quite a bit and really trying everything to take him out of the game.
I had to move Abby to the left. I felt rude. We had Abby blocked on that video, so I apologize.
Oh, I don't care.
But I agree with what Kerr said, though. I think
Kerr's right. No, it threw it. Jimmy Butler's a great defender. Here's the deal: it was a gamble on Spoelstra's part because if Murray would have played aggressive, Butler would have been in foul trouble because you get fouls come, you touch, you come like. And Murray wasn't. Murray didn't know how to adjust. He will now. I'm sure they're like, just go at him. Just go at him. Make him foul you. Once Butler gets 1 or 2 fouls in the first quarter, that's it. They changing that shit because they can't afford for him not to be in the game. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. Like, that's a simple fix. Just go at him. You know what I mean? They're going to call a foul. Go at him. That's what I would do. Like, it's not even nothing. Murray didn't know how to react, but he will now. And there may be a little issue with the knee. He may be a little sketchy. That's what we talk about when I was talking about DeMar Hamlin, right? It's those injuries that be in here. And you don't want to, you know what I mean? When it comes to it, because you don't know. It's like a fighter got knocked out. He used to come in. Now he's like, because he knows I might get tapped and be gone again, right? Once that's in your head, it changes everything. I think the injury is a little bit in Murray's head. I do, which is why he's not driving to the rack and he's settling on the jump shot. It's like, but you got to go at Butler. You got to get him out of there. That's what I would do.
Well, and I think you see even with the other way around too. Another thing that was different in game 2 from game 1 to game 2 is they actually had some free throws this time around. So like remember they had 2 in the first game, and last time around they actually had like a decent amount of free throws. So everybody thinks Denver game 3, Miami possibly, and Miami winning game 4.
I think Denver's going to win tonight, but I could be wrong. But I do. I think it's going to be a split in Miami though.
I think we all agree with split. I just have a difference of I think Miami actually gets up 2-1, but then I think Denver at that point puts the foot on the gas and kind of takes over the series. So, but all right, what else we got? LeBron to the Mavs. There's a little rumor that's been out recently about Kyrie reaching out to LeBron. Is there any shot this is happening, Matt? I mean, no, right?
I can't.
LeBron going to Dallas.
It would take a lot for LeBron to leave LA because that's where he wants to live. That's where his kid is. Or his kid's playing, and that's. I mean, I believe that Kyrie has spoken to him and tried to kind of get it going, but I like. Why would LeBron do this?
I agree with you with the one thing, especially when you say how he wants to see his son play ball. His son's going to be right up the block from where he plays now. To me, that's the biggest reason of why I don't think he leaves.
Well, to me, it doesn't matter when you're damn near a billionaire. It's only a 2-hour flight, and on a private jet, it's 90 minutes. That's nothing.
No
right?
check-in.
So life, it's a completely different thing. Now, the opportunity to play with Kyrie and Luka Doncic, like, does LeBron want to win another ring? Is it more likely if he joined the Mavs, do the Mavs have a better shot at winning over the Lakers? If he stays on the Lakers, who has a better shot of winning? If LeBron was on the Mavs and added to that with Luka and Kyrie, because that would be the nucleus. They get rid of everybody else and just have those three, right? Or in LA with Austin Powers, my man, and AD.
And you forgot D'Angelo Russell.
No, they're getting rid of his ass.
He's done. He's done.
I just don't see how they would fit. I don't see how Doncic and Kyrie and LeBron would fit together.
Here's how I think it works, Matt. It's LeBron. That is LeBron's superpower.
Yeah.
Knowing how to make everybody play together. Like, that is his superpower. That's the one thing I'll say he's better than Michael Jordan at. Michael Jordan was like, I'm the team. Give me the ball. We gonna win. LeBron is like, I know how to make us all play. I know how to make you better. He knows what Luka needs. And Kyrie trusts LeBron. He knows what LeBron knows what Kyrie needs. Like, LeBron would be the perfect conductor for that team.
Yeah.
They would have a great symphony. I really believe so. Like, that's what they need. They need a mind like LeBron. I don't think it will happen. But what I'm saying is, it's not as like crazy or out of the like something that would change his life drastically because it's only Dallas, Texas. Like I said, 90-minute on a private jet back and forth. It's nothing. You know what I mean? And he don't have to. It won't interrupt his life in LA, like hardly at all. So It just depends if he wants the ring and he thinks that team has a shot. But Luka, and Kyrie is nasty.
It is scary. The only thing is you got to worry about who else they get rid of on that squad. Like, who's going to be the guy in the front court? Who are they going to have there? You still need people to rebound. You know what I mean?
But here's the deal.
Also, LeBron doesn't play
Mark
defense
Cuban is
anymore.
a billionaire. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
LeBron doesn't play defense anymore. Really, he picks his spots, but I get it. He's fucking 39 years old almost.
We know
Doncic is awful defensively. Kyrie's never going to be on the all-defense team. Like, you're going to need some ball stoppers.
Yeah.
Good point.
No, but I think Mark Cuban is a billionaire. So the luxury tax in the NBA is a joke. They don't care. So Mark Cuban will build, if he got LeBron, whoever y'all want. And think about it. You know how many players would want to come? Imagine if Dame Lillard was like, me, I want to come. Like, then you got this person. Ooh, I want to come. I want to come. Like, players will come to play with LeBron, Luka, and Kyrie in Dallas. No state tax. What? Right?
There's a lot of good points. So, I kind of thought it was a no-brainer, but you make some good points that makes you
imagine if Klay Thompson leaves Golden State and says, I'll go. Like, just think of what the team could be. Like, people will clamor to go play with them. I'm telling you, if LeBron went, I guarantee you there would be at least 5 other known players that we know that would raise their hand that says, I'll come. And Mark Cuban will gladly pay him.
Yes, he would have no problem paying that luxury tax.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Nigel?
I partied with Mark Cuban once.
Did you really?
That's about as deep as I'm going to go with this whole LeBron and Mavs thing. Yeah. My first dip into the Grey Goose was with Mark Cuban. He bought the bottle. It was fantastic. That's all I got for you.
Great story.
Thank you.
Did anybody get arrested that night?
If we did, Cuban paid for us to get out, so
it
doesn't matter.
Awesome. So, you don't see.
No. I love this this hypothetical though. I love this somewhat of a dream team thought. I love that. Don't think it's gonna happen, but I love it. I love thinking about those kind of things because let's be real, man. The last 5-6 seasons of ball has been astounding for what has happened for the players that have actually been moved and that have played together. Again, I think most of us followed ball or loved basketball in the days of, your one star stayed, lived, breathed, and died with that team, was loyal to that team, and that's it. Now, I'm not saying that their loyalties aren't as loyal, but they've just
They're
changed.
capitalists.
Yeah, they've just changed. Yeah, they're loyal to the money, right? So it's great. But specifically, I digress. Specifically, I don't see him going to the Mavs. But I love the conversation though.
Yeah.
Abs.
I'm kind of with Nigel. I don't really think it happens. And let's say I want to entertain the idea, it wouldn't happen this year. It'd probably happen next year. I really don't know why Kyrie, I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't really know why he's trying to dictate anything, to be honest. The star is Luka, dude. And then the Mavs, they completely regressed once they got him at the trade deadline. They went from 5th to I think 11th and they were out. So really you don't have much ground to stand on right now. But I did see a comment, I was on Twitter just kind of reading through all the comments and stuff like that. But someone was saying if it did happen, it may happen next year. And then it would be LeBron and then Bronny as well over with Dallas. And that idea, it's fun to entertain, but not realistic. And I don't really see that as a dominant power 3, to be really honest. But yeah, I don't really think it happens. I think LeBron seems happy on the Lakers, to be honest. He's got a nice squad around him. You know what I mean? So just keep running with that because obviously it got you in the playoffs. Hell, it almost got you in the finals.
Yeah. So, it's a good point. I think Nigel doesn't want this to happen because he's still holding out hope that Kyrie is going to be a Raptor at the end of the offseason. So
I hate that idea so much.
I know you do.
I cannot stand it.
I would definitely talk myself into it if it happened, though. I do not want it at all.
That's a good point, Nigel. If it did happen, would you finally just talk yourself into saying, "Okay, maybe it's not that bad"?
I don't know, man. Honestly
would. The second Kyrie goes for 50, all is forgiven.
Get rid of the flat Earth and the Jewish stuff. Just focus on the handles and the shot making. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I love Kyrie. But I get it right now. Right as of right now, fuck no thanks.
That's right.
I get it.
I'll just say this: LeBron's favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good taste.
Well,
only bandwagons like that team.
That's a good point. Or front runners from that grew up in the 90s. Matt. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Is this the beginning of the Denver Nuggets dynasty? Are we seeing a dynasty? Listen, is it that far off to think? Jokic is only 28. Murray's 26. Porter's 24. Why can't, so my question is to you, why won't it be?
Because you have to win you got to win back-to-back or at least 2 in 3 years to
you don't think Denver can do that?
They can. They won't, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think it's that. I think it's the start of them being consistently in the top 4 teams in the West for the next 5 seasons. That, yes. But a dynasty, nah.
Is there a team that you see that could be where do you see another team that could be a possible dynasty? Or you think right now it's just you don't see anybody doing it really?
Nah. There's nobody that's that dominant where we're looking at it that you got to beat that team. I don't see that. I just don't.
Abby?
Oh, I see a team that I think can be that dominant. That's the Phoenix Suns.
I knew she was going there.
That's what we're waiting for. I agree with Caleb. Why are we even having this conversation? They don't even have a championship yet.
Well, if they win one this year, can they win a bunch?
Like I said, I'm
to be fair,
right
to Caleb's point, they will be in the mix for the next 5 years, give or take, right? So what happens if they happen to win? There is the potential that they could win 3 out of those 5.
That's a dynasty then.
Then it's a dynasty. That's what I'm saying. But so there's the potential that it could be.
Well,
you don't
but of course it could.
There's just too many of the dogs in the fight in the ring, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the West is too. It's too much, and there's injury. Everything changes stuff. You know what I mean? Golden State, the Raptors wouldn't even have a championship if KD never tore his Achilles. And also, if Klay Thompson didn't tear his ACL on a fluke layup, right? They don't win that. Everybody knows the Raptors weren't going to beat Golden State, but without Klay and KD, they did. So that's what I mean. Like it's just, injuries can change everything. So I just don't see that for Denver. I don't see them being a dynasty. I think they win this season and they'll be competitive every year without question. But dynasty, nah, that's dominance.
I hear you. I agree. I think they should put an asterisk next to that Toronto Raptors title win because it really shouldn't count. Matt, what say you about the dynasty of the Nuggets?
Nice Matt, please address the asterisk thing, though. Please address that because that's Gene. Take that out of your mouth. Yeah. Take that out of your mouth.
Part of winning a title is getting injury luck. I mean, Golden State won against Cleveland when Kevin Love and Kyrie were hurt.
Yep.
Right.
Fair.
So that's part of the deal. Part of winning is injury luck. That's just kind of how it is. Dynasty, no. I think there's too much parity in the NBA right now, especially now with the cap going up. It's gonna be going up every year for the next whatever. There's gonna be a lot of player movement and a lot of people moving around. So I just don't see, like, Denver's a nice team, but I just don't see a dynasty.
I don't, and I think it's kind of what Caleb said for the same reason that Caleb kind of said is there's a lot of other teams on the come up, right? The Kings are right around the corner. We've been talking about them all postseason. Abby's right. The Phoenix Suns have a loaded squad right now. They're loaded over. Well, not loaded. I should say they have no depth, but loaded. They're loaded. But I think there's more than that. I think Ayton can be a top flight center with Frank Vogel at coach. I think he's going to fit. I think Ayton.
Get out of here. They're going to trade.
I think with Frank Vogel, I don't think they're gonna. I think he fits Frank Vogel to a T. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be really good in that Frank Vogel system.
All right.
Look how he was. Look at his years in Indiana when he had Hibbert, and Hibbert was not a guy that anybody expected anything crazy from, and he was an all-star center in those years.
I just don't see it. I don't see it with Ayton at all. Although I think he's a fine player, but I just don't see it with him at all. I mean, they need to. I mean, listen. Phoenix, they have Durant and Booker. They're going to be good.
And again,
right? So they need to get, like, they lost some depth with that trade, obviously. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with the Chris Paul situation, but I imagine that's going to be an attractive place for people to want to go play.
Yeah.
As a free agent. So, I mean, speaking of, like, Caleb brought up earlier, LeBron being able to play with people, like, Durant is the ultimate at that. He can go anywhere and mold anyone. He
stimulates right in.
Golden State. He did it with kind of with Brooklyn. I mean, they were all injured the whole time, but he's fine. He's fine taking less shots, doing something else as long as that's what the team does. So he's the perfect person to have with Booker because Booker's got he's got that, like, alpha dog in him, and they need a couple more people. But
we lost Abby.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. So, I still don't see dynasty though with them.
No, I don't see dynasty there either. And that's what I'm saying. I think there's too many other good teams, especially in the West. And then even the East got some teams that are coming too. But and again, on the point with Phoenix though, when I say loaded, they're loaded at the top. They're top heavy. But I think they'll be able to fill that roster. But they'll be able to fill that roster out this offseason, I think.
Yeah,
and I know me and Nigel spoke about it a little bit on Monday. I think it was on Monday we spoke about it, where I think that it might make a lot of sense for them to try to trade Chris Paul for some depth pieces. Don't trade him for another star. Trade him for a couple of young depth pieces that can fill out your roster a little bit better. Almost like with the sum of all equal. What's Caleb? You help me out. My catchphrases today. My cliches. What's the sum of all parts equal greater of one or something? What is it? One equals the great. What's the sum of all parts?
I don't know.
All right.
Some
Anyway,
good movie, good book.
No, that's a good movie, I guess. But I'm saying, like, you might get guys. None of them are going to be equal to what Chris Paul could do. But when you add 2 or 3 guys that play different roles on your team, it could be good role players. It might be better for the team overall than it would be just having Chris Paul on the roster. Especially when we see Cameron Payne is able to move the ball at a quicker pace.
Yeah,
it's a little faster, which is what I think Booker's going to love. I think KD's going to love. And again, I expect a lot more from Ayton this year. I think Frank Vogel is going to get a lot more out of Ayton than we've seen so far. I think it's the perfect coach for Ayton, to be honest with you. But all right, Nigel, your turn.
Real quick, listen, I've been to Denver. I went to Denver one time.
Once. Okay.
I went when Peyton Manning got booed because he had thrown like 4 or 5 interceptions, and it was the end of his career. My point is, why are we talking about this? I'm with Abby 100%. They haven't even won one yet. Again, this is another conversation that I love, but my biggest thing is like when they win one, then I'm down to have this little bit of chatter. And also, we said this about Milwaukee. We said this about the Bucks.
Yeah.
When they won, we were like, oh man, this might be a wrap. This might be the next comeuppance. They can't even get out of round 1. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's saying so many great pieces. They're adding so many great ingredients to make this amazing cake. And it's like, Matt, you were saying like the parity in the league. Like there's just so much. There's so many things, so many moving and shaking that's happening in the league right now. I don't know when the next time we will see a dynasty is. I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe it'll be soon, but maybe it won't be. But I don't know if it's going to be the Denver Nuggets. I would love it to be. Shout out to my boy Kyler Murray. What am I talking about? Sort of my boy Murray, but I just don't think that it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Patty just put it up there. The whole was. I already forgot it. Put it up one time. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that's kind of where I was going with that. By getting rid of Chris Paul, you bring in a couple of guys that might not equal Chris Paul, but with what they would bring to a team. Couple of guys, you might be better off for the team itself. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't think Chris Paul's a good fit with Vogel as the coach because Vogel is a hard defensive coach. Like he's defense, he's not offensive. And I think Chris Paul's too old to actually be an effective defender. I think he's a liability.
And that's one of the reasons. And that's one of the reasons why I do think Ayton will be better with Vogel. I think.
I agree.
I think you're going to see a big step up from Ayton this year.
I agree with that.
So. Fred VanVleet to the Rockets, question mark. I think this is a tremendous fit for a young team. I'll give my point first, and then we'll go around. It's a great fit. I don't want to see them go after Harden. I know that's the rumor is Harden. I don't want to see Harden go there. If this is a young team that you're trying to teach them to win, you try to develop talent, putting Harden on there is only to sell tickets and jerseys, and that's the wrong reason. If you're trying to win, you don't put Harden there. You don't bring Harden into that mix right there. But Fred VanVleet can come in there. They need a point guard to mix in with these younger players that they got. And he could be a floor general. He could be a general for this team. He can teach them how to win. I think Fred VanVleet, I didn't even think about it until I saw this somewhere else and they were talking about it. I didn't even think about that this could be a possibility. But I love it if it is. And again, do I think he'll end up there? No, I think he's going to want to go to a place where he has a chance to win a lot sooner. But I think that would be a great fit for Houston. Matt, what's your take on this? I know you don't want to lose him.
I think we're going to lose him, and that's okay. I love Freddie, always will. He's not a great he's a good 3-point shooter. He's not a great his career field goal percentage. I think is like 40. Last year, I think he shot under that from the floor. That's very bad.
From the field, he was at 39.
That's not good.
No,
34 is okay. He had a bit of a self-admittedly, he said he had a tough shooting year, but he's a little bulldog, man. He works hard on defense. He's a smart player. He can hit big shots. He's a fucking champion. Yep. But I think the Lakers are a better fit than Houston.
Well, I think I'm talking about the fit, not so much the fit for him. I'm talking about the fit for the team. I think Houston would. I think it'd be great for the culture that Houston's trying to build. You're right. I don't think Fred VanVleet does that. I think he goes to a team where he can win now. Which
I think it'd be great for Houston. It'd be great for Houston. I think it wouldn't be great for Freddie. I think he has better options out there. But, definitely a great fit. Adding a guy who's got that championship DNA, but also, he's a leader. He's Kevin Durant said when they played like a couple years ago. They played like they play their off-season games with all the players. He's just like Freddie's a dog. Like he's a dog. He's on the ball. He works his ass off. He's a shooter. He ain't scared. He ain't scared of nothing. So having that kind of attitude and mentality is good for a younger team.
Nigel?
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't think we're going to hold on to him. Unfortunately, I wish we could. But I think if he goes to a team where he's got a lot of young kids there, that he can really he can shine as well, and he can dish out and he can actually show them the ropes. I think that's probably a good idea. It's unfortunate that would be in a market like Houston, but it actually works if it's a thing.
Abby?
I mean, I'm kind of just with everyone else here. Nothing more to add. Both Matt, you, and Nigel had really good points. So, and that's all the same shit I was gonna say.
Sorry, Abby. All right.
No, it's
fine. So, for me, I don't mind the fit in Houston because I do agree with you, Gene, that it's interesting, but I understand for Matt, you have a better shot to win and do more right now if he went to LA. Right. And he would be great in LA. It's a perfect fit. Fucking LeBron is LeBron. Like I just said earlier, he knows how to make everybody play together. Right.
Big upgrade over D'Angelo Russell, too.
Yes.
Right. Oh, my God.
Yes. Light years better.
I've never heard of Fred VanVleet recording anybody doing anything. So there's that.
Just the locker room alone. Yeah.
No, he'll never live that down with me. But what I think people are overlooking with the Houston thing is the coach. They got Ime Udoka, right? Mm-hmm. He is phenomenal. He's so good that even with the scandal, guess how many coaches Boston lost to Houston for next season? 4. 4 left to go be with him in Houston. So that speaks volumes of that man and who he is. I think Fred would be getting in on the base level on a team that is going to be nasty in 2 to 3 seasons, like the Kings. The Kings are about to be ready next season, but Houston, mark my words, in 3 seasons, it's going to be hot because they've been low. So they got a lot of draft capital. They got a lot of space with that, right? And then you got that coach that, regardless of what he does outside, don't bring your wife around him. You already know that. Outside of that, he's going to make sure y'all ready. He's going to make sure the coaching is dope. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't see what it would be like. It would be wrong for Fred. And if you went to the Lakers, you only got a season or 2 to win because LeBron's leaving after that. And AD, we already know, right? So you really be the only thing in LA in 3 seasons when the Kings are winning championships. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
what about Phoenix is a fit for Fred VanVleet?
Huh?
What about Phoenix for Fred VanVleet?
Oh my God. To replace Chris, you're damn right.
Oh,
I know Cameron Payne it looks like he's the guy there going forward, but Abby, you're the Phoenix Suns fan. Would you be okay?
Oh no, I think it would be a great fit, especially if we're getting rid of Chris Paul. Excellent fit as far as leadership and then talent wise as well.
And ability to score.
He plays defense.
And it would take a little pressure off him because he wouldn't need to score as much as I don't think he'd be.
He takes pressure off of Booker and KD, so they don't have to score so much.
But at the same time, I think they also take the pressure off of him as well. He has more responsibility for him in Toronto than there would be in Phoenix.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think all well-rounded. I think it would be a lot easier for everybody well-rounded. You know what? I love the take on Houston being that they're coming. I think if you take two teams I'm looking at, one in the West, one in the East that are coming is I think Detroit. Now with Monty Williams there and that young talent with now adding another top 5 pick, I think you could definitely see in about 4 or 5 years a Houston-Detroit finals where those could be two dominant teams in the near future. Those 2 teams.
I mean, they definitely have the potential.
They got to develop. Develop.
But I just think it speaks volumes to who Ime is as a man, as a person when it comes to this sport.
As a leader of men, yeah.
Yeah, because to get coaches to leave to be with you says a tremendous amount of things about who you are as a man, especially coming from the scandal and all of that, right? So I think that's amazing, especially with Matt's point when he was talking about my boy Kyler. He's like, they coming out tweeting about this dude. So you see the difference. Yep. You know what I mean? It's man, that's interesting.
All right, last point of the day before we get to our last words of the day. who's the hardest to guard in the NBA? If there's a player in there that's the hardest to guard, Nigel, who's the hardest to guard that you feel in the NBA?
Wow. Hardest to guard in the NBA. I mean, guard. I'm gonna have to pass on that because I have to do some. I have to dig deep on that.
Do some soul searching on this one, Nigel.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. Let me give me a think, and I'll interrupt somebody when they're mid thought.
Matt, who do you think?
I'm gonna go down to Abby's hood. I'm gonna say Kevin Durant.
Really?
Well, I don't know. How do you stop him if he wants to score? He can shoot from anywhere. He's a smart player. He moves the ball well. He's a matchup nightmare. So I say KD.
All right. Caleb?
For me, I got to say Steph Curry. Strictly for this, movement without the ball. Nobody.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you have to be on your bike at all times with that guy, right? Luka, when you don't have the ball, you standing there, maybe moving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, you look, he's there. Next second, he's on the other side of the court. That quick, taking a shot. Like, movement without the basketball is everything. That is what makes it difficult. You're running through screens all quarter long. You get worn down trying to guard Steph Curry. That is what makes him extremely difficult to guard because of his ability to move without the basketball. He creates so much opportunity when the ball's not even in his hands. That is why he's, in my opinion, the hardest person to guard. There's a lot of difficult people to guard, but the hardest is Steph Curry. You have to be in shape or there's no way you even have a shot.
He's definitely got a high motor. Abby?
So this is really hard, but like the first name that came to mind was Steph Curry, and then I instantly thought of KD. I think it would be a little easier to narrow it down if we were talking about positions, because then I started thinking Luka, and then I was thinking Jokic. So those are just some other names that I kind of played around with. I even put Giannis in there a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I just think there's so many damn players. Even Jimmy Butler could be in the conversation.
Good point. Yeah. Now, if you had to pick one, though, who would be the guy?
Steph Curry.
Okay. Nice.
You just have to always stay on top of him. That's the whole thing.
Well, and you ever see you see the highlights of him all the time where he'll have the ball in his hand, he'll go run in a circle, pass the ball off, run in a circle, they'll give it back to him, he'll pass it back off, run in a circle, and then finally he shoots it on the fourth lap around.
But listen, run in the circle, you said it 4 times. How many screens are being set in each run across the circle? At minimum 2. Yeah. So the defender is going through 2 bodies that are stopped like this, and you're bumping into them. Restart your momentum to go catch them. That is extremely difficult to deal with. Extremely.
Yeah, I agree. Not my pick yet, but I'll get my pick after Nigel. But Nigel, what's your pick?
Yeah, I think it's also painful for that defender who's trying to catch up. Who's trying to catch up with Curry. You know what I mean? It's very painful. So yeah, without saying Curry, because I think he might be a general consensus like overall number 1. I'm gonna go off the beaten path and say Dame Lillard. Okay. There's something about his game every once in a while. He's not the most consistent, but every once in a while, man, I will never forget. I wish I could give you the date and time of this game, but it wasn't last season. It was the season before when he made like one of those game winners, and he looked right down the barrel of the camera. Like he just looked at it, was like, you know what I mean? And there's a meme of it, and everybody hugged him, and he was just like, yeah, you know what it is.
I was against the Clippers.
It's that fight. Yes, you're right. It's because it's that fight that I love about Dame, and I think he's extremely hard to guard because he's just a hard figure. Like he's just a hard dude. He's like if he's in between, like, you know, he's harder than Butler is. And he's kind of gangster, you know what I mean? I mean, he's probably the most successful rapper out of all the NBA players that have come out of the rap game. But I mean, which isn't really saying much. But I think Lillard is the guy because I wouldn't want to guard him just because I'm afraid of him, and 2, you just never know what he's gonna do in terms of the shot or the drive because he can still drive. He's not afraid of doing that. So I'm gonna go Lillard.
I think Nigel's forgetting a little rap album called Shaq Fu.
Oh no! Trust. I had this conversation the other day. That's why. And don't even worry.
Maybe that should be a topic for next week.
I think Shaq is the only athlete to go platinum.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, I think didn't Balos? I don't know. I think he might have passed away since, but wasn't he like a Grammy-winning like jazz musician, Cedric Sabalos? I think he might have been.
He might have been.
So I know he's done some stuff. And again, I think Cedric Sabalos may have passed since, but yeah, there's that. But my guy is Jokic. I know maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment, but with this playoff run, I've seen more of Jokic than I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen him play as much as I have in this past month. If you don't stop him, if you stop him shooting the ball, he's going to be able to pass the ball. If you stop him passing the ball, he's going to score 41 points on you like he did last time. To me, he's the most complete player especially as a big man to be able to do what he does. I know we talk about some of the stuff that like what LeBron used to be able to do, be able to control the team, but so much of the tempo goes through Jokic. Like I said, if you can try to stop him from scoring and maybe he scores 17 points, but he's going to have 20 assists. Or then you stop him and he only gets 4 assists, but he has 41 points. So to me, it's got to be Jokic. But I honestly don't think there's a wrong answer on there because I think AD is just as unstoppable. Steph is just as unstoppable.
AD is very stoppable.
KD?
Oh, I thought you said AD.
No, KD.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Just step on his toe and he'll stub it, and then he's going to be out for like
exactly.
a month. So there's that.
Luka can get a shot at any point.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, when he's doing – I mean, we're going long here, but I'll wrap this up. But it's like the teams that have the guys who have the ball that much, like ball dominant, they never win. They never do anything. And so Luka needs to have the ball a little less and get his teammates more involved, I think, next year. But, I mean, and, like, Giannis – Abby mentioned Giannis. Like, when Giannis wants to drive to the hoop, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
Foul him as best. Sometimes all you can do is just foul him and hopefully miss.
Yeah, you made a good point. Like, there's not really any bad answers from the ones that we gave.
So, but that is going to do it for the show today, guys. Great show today. We had it was a spicy Wednesday. We had a spicy hump day. But you know what? Let's get into our last words. I always don't want to hear what his last words could be. Let's start with Matt Hamilton, though. I can only imagine.
You know what? I'll leave you alone. You notice I changed my thing to Yankees suck and not Jets suck. Abby,
I know because
yeah.
Why are you showing that?
Daddy. Great guy.
That's 34-28.
Yeah, we're getting there. Alec Manoah going down the rookie ball, going to get his shit sorted out. He'll be back, hopefully back to normal. And let's go, Jace. There you go.
Nigel, last words of the day.
Hey, it's a beautiful day out. Go on and get yourself some sunshine. High five a friend, a lover, a neighbor, whoever that is. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a hat today.
Hey.
There you go. A whole brand new hat.
How many hats do you have? How many hats do you have?
That's for a different pod, my friend. It's for a different pod.
Hey, you know, and let's give a little shout out to the exclusive Instagram channel. If you want to see, he's got the exclusive. That's where he keeps that. He's got an Instagram page for the hats. It's the exclusive page. So shout out to Nigel's hat IG. That's how big his collection is. They have their own IG. That's how big his collection is.
That's a good answer. Thank you.
So, but Abby, last words of the day.
I have 2 quick things. I watch college softball, and so I'm really excited for this matchup. This Florida State and Oklahoma going for their 3rd national championship. Obviously, the Men's College World Series. Arizona baseball lost 2 out and 2 and done. So just wanted to give a shout out. Second thing, we talk a lot about the Yankees, but the Diamondbacks are sitting at number 1 in the NL West. And I'm hoping that they don't fall apart. Young team, but I think they've kind of really shown a lot this year. They have a lot of potential going forward. So shout out to my Arizona Diamondbacks, holding strong at number 1, 1 game ahead of the Dodgers. But like I said, they have a habit of falling apart at the end. So
there you go. Caleb, last words of the day.
So one thing, a lot of y'all may not know, but I'm a huge tennis fan. And I'm telling you right now, this French Open has been phenomenal. And I'm about to tell you the match you want to watch, my boy Jokic against my boy Alcaraz. Woo! That's about to be on in the semifinals. Whoever wins that wins the tournament, in my opinion. But there's so many things. I just watched Coco Gauff lose to Swiatek. She's phenomenal. Coco has never beaten her. I just love watching it. It's one of my favorite sports to watch is tennis. So I'm all into Roland Garros, the French Open, playing on clay, if you didn't know. But outside of that, It's gloomy out here in LA. It has been for the whole week. It's June gloom, but it is what it is. The sun will come out tomorrow. So all I can say is spread love is the Brooklyn way, baby. See y'all soon.
Guys, and for me, I'm going to keep it simple. Have a great day. A better tomorrow. We will see you guys on Friday.
That's the pop off for today, folks. Thank you to all of our listeners, as well as our producers, Patty Puddles and Fareed Kameo. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to hear what these hooligans will pop off about next.